In module number 3, we begin our very first clinical task, and of course it's number 2. Don't worry about the numbering. We do give them to you out of order. Later on we'll do 1 and 5 together. But just remember from what you learned in the introductory module, each one of these 6 tasks that we do in EDF 103 is going to feed directly into CED 100. And by the time you're finished with your 6th task, you'll just compile those together and you'll have your school contextual analysis completed. We're going to begin with task number 2, and it requires candidates to locate district policies related to special education. Select one policy and briefly explain its potential impact on individual students and its potential impact on you as a teacher. So what we're looking for here is a well-developed paragraph or 2 that will answer that prompt. And remember, now you will post that here in EDF 103, but in the end you're going to collect all those. Make sure you save them. You'll collect them all and you'll be posting your school contextual analysis over in CED 100. Ideally, the way the school conceptual analysis or contextual analysis should work is that you're looking at one school. So if we had no other barriers, you would select a school that you were interested in. It would be that school that you would visit. You would do your walkthroughs there. You would do sort of an analysis of that community, the students that serve that or that attend that school. You would look at policies that were related to that school, and all information would be about that one school. That's the way this really ought to work. But for our purposes, because we're in an online course, we're going to have people at distance, opportunities to do all this at one school might be somewhat limited, particularly for folks in Richmond. We're going to be scheduling you to do your visit at Model Lab School. Now you can choose Model to be the school that you focus on, or you could choose another school. And for our purposes, we kind of understand that you may have cobbled together information about different schools that form your school contextual analysis. So we do understand that. But I wanted you to understand that the way this lesson is really designed would be where you would go in and you would take a look at conditions at one school and you would analyze that. And that would help you draw conclusions about what are the quality of the school's policies? How do they work with students? What kind of support do students have? What's the general nature of the student population? All of those issues surrounding one school. To help with this, you've got a choice on which special education policy you actually use. What I would advise is that you choose a district that you're interested in, a school that you're interested in, and you go to their school district website and see if you can access policies directly from there, and find a policy that relates to special education and do your write-up based on that. However, I think you're going to find that some schools don't have their policies easily accessible as perhaps others do. So it's unclear how simple it will be for you to do that. To help, we've included a sample special ed policy from on the EDF 103 site. We're also providing you some information in this module about school organization and how schools are governed. So we've got a PowerPoint and a little chat that we'd like you to review. So for this week, in 103, you've got task number 2, which I just described, and you've also got information on school organization. Also, we want you to go over to CED 100 and complete modules 4 and 5. Now, you're not going to be able to complete module 5, but let's talk about this for a minute. In module 4 in CED 100, you're going to be taking a look at the Kentucky Teacher Standards. As a school principal, when I would go into a classroom to take a look at a teacher's performance, I did it with the Kentucky Teacher Standards in mind. I wanted to understand something about their ability to present a lesson, to plan a lesson. I wanted to think about the atmosphere of the classroom, whether or not it was a healthy, conducive, and safe environment for student learning. There were a whole host of things that I wanted to make sure that I thought of, and those are described in the Kentucky Teacher Standards. So when you get over into CED 100 in Module 4, you'll have an exercise that you'll do that shows that you understand how the Kentucky teacher standards work. And remember, if you become a first-year teacher in the state of Kentucky, during your internship, you will be evaluated based on your ability to perform according to those standards. Now, I also mentioned Module 5. Module 5, and you'll notice in CED 100, we've got about a month full of Module 5. The next several modules, we won't be asking you to do anything other than perform some walkthroughs. I don't have a schedule for you to give you yet about where you'll go and when you'll be signing up. You'll be working with a clinical educator, most of you at Model Lab School. We might have to make some individual arrangements for others of you, and to be honest, at this point in time, I don't know what our options are there. But the plan is for students taking this course to come to Model Lab School, work with one of our clinical educators, and complete 4 walkthroughs over the next month. So that's why that module's left kind of wide open. In CED 100, though, you will get an idea about what those walkthroughs are about and what you'll be looking for when you're there. Remember, part of the objective for EDF 103 and CED 100 is that you will kind of get a view of the countryside. In a sense, you're going to be visiting in an early elementary or preschool class. You're going to be visiting in an upper elementary class, one in middle, and one in high school. And then you'll write about that experience as you write up your walkthroughs. And you're going to say something about what you've learned about the different levels. And remember, much of this is about you making decisions about what's the right level for you. Just exactly what is it that you think you would be best at teaching. So that's what we've got this week in our Module 3 here in 103.